Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual class of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop learning. So we are going to do many lessons which are very interesting from your textbook through the virtual class here. So let us do a lesson in English today. So come on children, let's start with a very beautiful lesson in Standard 2nd English. And this lesson is a beautiful story from the Mahabharata. Now what is the Mahabharata? I will tell you very shortly. And what is the name of the story? The name of the story is What Do You See? So now here you can see a teacher or a guru, as they were called in the ancient times, with a few of his students or disciples. Alright, and the teacher is pointing at something and asking the children, what do they see? So what is it exactly that the teacher wants the children to see, and what is the task that he has for the children, and how do the students perform in that particular task? Who comes out as the winner of that particular task is the story for today. Alright, so come on, let's proceed and talk about the sport with which this story is related. So this story is related to a particular sport also, and it is related to a particular story, that is the story of the Mahabharata. So let us talk about the sport first. So children, you must have seen various sports being played in our country. Like for example, many of us, we play cricket. Some of you must be liking football. Then we have our national sport, that is hockey. Okay, now these are all the common sports. You must have heard about people swimming, alright, people playing volleyball, tennis, badminton, etc. These are the common sports. Now there are some other sports also which are a little not common. That is, you can see them only during a sporting event. Like for example, during you can say Olympics, or during Asian Games, you will be able to see these kind of sports. Alright, sometimes we have these kind of sports being played in our school also. So they are high jump, hurdles, hammer throw, shot put, javelin throw, etc. So these are all the names of the different sports that are played. For example, I told you, what are the different names that I told you? Let us once again look back. We talked about cricket, we talked about football, hockey, swimming, tennis, badminton, okay, and also some of these sports, that is high jump, hurdles, hammer throw, shot put, javelin throw, etc. Now the sport that we will be talking about in this particular lesson or in this particular story is archery. What is the sport called? It is called archery. So you see, what is he doing? He's got a bow and arrow with him, and he's got a target, and he is trying to hit the target. Alright, so archery is a sport where you have a bow and an arrow, and you aim using the bow and the arrow, and you hit the arrow on a particular target. So this was about the sport which is there in this particular lesson. Now let us talk about from where this lesson has come, or from where the story has come. Now children, we have very famous stories in India, like the story of the Ramayana, where you will see the story of Sri Rama and his brother Lakshmana, his wife Sita, and Lord Hanuman. Alright, you also must have heard about the story of the Mahabharata. Now this particular story that we are going to learn today, or we are going to see today and enjoy it, What Do You See, is from the Mahabharata. So now what is the story of Mahabharata about? So the story of Mahabharata is about the battle which was fought. Okay, it was a major big battle. Battle means what? In Hindi you say ladhai. So you can see here, this was a battle which happened in the very ancient time. not today. Okay, in today's battles you can see tanks and bombers and aeroplanes and submarines and ships, but in those times in the battle people used to fight on foot, on horseback, on the elephant. Okay, so this was a battle which happened long ago, and the story of how the battle happened, why the battle happened, is all written in the Mahabharata. So this particular story, again, like I told you, is from the Mahabharata. So the Mahabharata was a story about the 100 Kauravas. Now the Kauravas were on one side of the fight and the Pandavas were on the other side of the fight. So how many Kauravas were there? There were 100 Kauravas along with the army that they had. So you can see here, see, huge armies, isn't it, on both sides? So you had the 100 Kauravas and then we had the 5 Pandavas. And why they fought, how they fought, for how long the battle took place, all this is mentioned in the Mahabharata. So if there is an elder in your house who knows about the story of the Mahabharata, you can ask them to tell you the story. Okay, so now come on and let's talk about the story here. So this story is about the teacher of the Pandavas and Kauravas, that is Dronacharya. So who was the teacher? His teacher's name was Dronacharya. Now children, during the ancient times, the children did not used to go to a school like the school we have today. Nowadays what happens? We pick up our bag and we go to school at 12 o'clock and we come back home at 6 o'clock. Of course not now because of the COVID pandemic, we are not going to school. But in normal situation, what we used to do? We used to pick up our bags and go to school. Okay? And we used to come back home in the evening. Our mummy used to give us tiffin to eat and we used to sleep in our homes. Alright? But during the ancient times, during the times of the Mahabharata, the situation was not like this, children. The children or the students, they used to go and live with their guru. So they never used to go back home every day. Okay? So when they used to grow up a little bit, the parents, they used to take the children and they used to leave them with the guru. So see, these are the Pandavas and the Kauravas sitting and learning from their guru Dronacharya. So in your school, like you have test and exam, in the same way one day Dronacharya also conducted a test. So you can see here all the students are standing and now Dronacharya is going to conduct a test. So what was the test about? The test was that the princess, they had to aim for the parrot's eye. Now can you see the parrot there sitting on a branch? Okay, it was a wooden parrot. So Dronacharya had placed the wooden parrot on a branch of a tree in his ashram or his gurukul, and he called the princess one by one and he said, you are supposed to aim for the parrot's eye. So a parrot has got different parts on its body, isn't it? It has got the beaks, it has got the legs, it has got the tail, the feather. But what did Dronacharya say? He said you have to aim for the parrot's eye. And then let's see what happened. So all the students said they saw the tree. Some of them said, what can you see? So when Dronacharya used to ask, what can you see? Some of them used to say, I can see the tree. Then again he used to ask, what can you see? Someone else used to say, I can see the bird. And then when he used to ask someone else, what can you see? He used to say, I can see the sky. So see, what was the place that they were supposed to look at? They were supposed to look at the bird's eye. But then they said that we can see the tree, we can see the sky, we can see the bird. Then came Arjuna's turn. Now Arjuna was Dronacharya's favorite student. Okay, now Arjuna's turn came, and then he asked Arjuna also, like he asked the others. He asked Arjuna, "What can you see?" Arjuna replied, "I can see only the eye of the bird." He said, "I cannot see the bird, I cannot see the tree, I cannot see the sky, nothing. I can just see the eye of the bird." So are you understanding? He followed his guru's instructions. His guru said, "Aim for the eye," and he looked only at the eye. He did not let anything else in the surrounding disturb him. And then what happened? Like I told you, he was his guru's favorite student. Why was he his guru's favorite student? Because of this reason. He used to follow all his guru's instructions carefully. And then what happened? He aimed at and he hit the bird's eye. He hit exactly the bird's eye. What about the others? Some of them were hitting the tree, some of them were hitting the bird, some of them were hitting the sky. But Arjuna aimed at and hit exactly the bird's eye. Of course, his guru was very, very happy, and he patted Arjuna on his back and he told Arjuna as well as the others, focusing on your goal helps you to achieve it. So if you want to do something in life, children, you have to focus totally on that. If you want to study, you have to think only about studying. Then you have to not think about video games or your phone or your computer or about your friends playing outside. You have to focus on studying. Only then you will be able to achieve your goal. So did you like the story? It was a very beautiful, nice story, isn't it? About a teacher and his student, and also about a sport. What was the name of the sport? It was archery. Now let us look at some exercises which are there in the textbook. So you have to find out the following from the story. So if you have your English textbooks, you can open it. You can come to this particular lesson, and then you will try and find out answers to these questions. So please pause the video and try to find out the answers yourself. And then you can come back and check your answers with my answers. Okay? So names of two people from the story. Two names of persons. So what are the names that you got? Yes, you have Arjuna and Bhim. So these are the names of two of the 5 Pandavas. Okay, the Pandavas were how many brothers? Like I told you, 5 brothers. And the Kauravas were 100 brothers. So Arjuna and Bhim were the name of the 2 Pandavas. And what was the name of the sport which is mentioned here? It is archery. And see, this is archery, taking a bow and arrow and aiming and shooting at a target. What are the names of 2 things which are mentioned here in the lesson? The bow and the arrow. Okay, now this is a ancient bow and arrow. This is a picture of the ancient bow and arrow which was seen during Mahabharata times. Nowadays you will see different types of bows and arrows. Okay, modern bows and arrows. And names of 3 things seen in nature. What are the 3 things that we can see in nature, and the names are there in the lesson? One is the trees, then you have the sky, and then you have the sun. So these are the various words that you can pick up from the story. Hope your answers were also right. Now let us move on and let's see the next exercise, which is going to be a very interesting one. Okay, unscramble the following words, find them in the story and underline them. So one thing I will be doing it for you here. I will be unscrambling the words with you. You will find them in the story and you will underline them. That is your assignment. Even for unscrambling, the first one we will do together, and the others you're supposed to pause the video and find out the answers yourself. Okay, so come on, let's go to the first word. So it is a mixed up word. You are supposed to unscramble. Unscramble means put it in order. So what is the word? It is Rayreach, which is Archery, archery. So how the spelling was all mixed up. It was Rayreach, we made it Archery. So this is how you will unscramble the words. So now look at the next word, see whether you are able to unscramble it. So it is Oowdne. Think, what is the word? Yes, it is W O. One more O. Then you have D. Then you have E. And finally the N. So it is wooden. Let's take the next word now. See whether you are able to make out what this is. WBO. Yes, it is. What will be the word? Very simple. This is B, O and W. Alright, let's go to the next word. Try and unscramble it. WARRO. Very simple, isn't it? So what is it? It is A R R O W. Arrow. So you had the bow and then now you have the arrow. Let us look at the next and last word. So it is TOSOH. TOSOH. What do you do with the bow and the arrow? Yes, what do you do? U S H O and T. You shoot. So you use your bow and your arrow to shoot. So this was the next exercise. Now what will you do? The remaining part of this exercise is for you to do. Okay, you will find these words in the story, that is archery, wooden, bow, arrow, shoot, and you will underline these words in your textbook. Now we have one more exercise here where the names of various sports are given. So we discussed the names of some sports in the beginning of the lesson also. We saw some common sports and then we saw some sports which are a little uncommon. Now here you have the name of so many sports in the middle and you have their pictures around the names. So you have football, cricket, kabaddi, chess, badminton, archery, hockey, swimming, etc. So come on, let us see which picture matches which sport. So which is the first one? See, this is swimming. What is the name of the sport? Swimming. Then this is badminton. Then you have football. After that you have kabaddi. Then the next sport that we have is chess. It's a board game, okay? It is a indoor sport. Then you have cricket. After that, the next sport is the sport which we talked about now, archery. And finally, we have hockey. So, what are the different names of the sports? You have swimming. Then you have badminton, where you can see there are two people with two bats and there is a net in the middle. Then their game is called as football. Okay, there is a ball and you kick it around with your foot. That is why you call it as football. And then you have kabaddi. Okay, then chess, cricket, archery, and our national sport or game, that is hockey. Alright, so these are some commonly played sports in India. Some of them are played indoor, that is inside a closed space, and some of them are played outside in the open ground. That you will learn more about it when you go to a little higher class. What are indoor games and what are outdoor games? Then now let us talk about one more small information from your textbook. So do you know her? Have you seen her? She is Deepika Kumari, and she is one of India's leading archers. Archer means what? A person who does archery is called as archer. Alright children, now let us come to the last part of our lesson and let us read the names of these words. So you have the first one. Can you read it loud? Yes, it is Prince, Prince. Let us try and read the next one now. It is Archery, archery. So see, you are learning so many new words, isn't it, in this lesson? What about the next one here? It is test, T-E-S-T, test. Then you have G-A-T-H-E-R-E-D, gathered, gathered. Then we have wooden, W-O-O-D-E-N, W-O-O-D-E-N, wooden. Then you have the word bow, B-O-W, bow. Then you have arrow, A-R-R-O-W, arrow. The next word, exactly, E-X-A-C-T-L-Y, exactly, E-X-A-C-T-L-Y, exactly. You're supposed to read along with me, okay? Then you have shoot, S-H-O-O-T, shoot, S-H-O-O-T, shoot. And the last word that we have is goal, G-O-A-L, goal. So these are all the words that we have learnt in this lesson. Once again, prince, archery, test, gathered, wooden, bow, arrow, exactly, shoot, goal. So children, what all things did we learn in this lesson today? We talked about different kind of sports that are played. We talked about archery also. I also told you about some ancient Indian stories, that is the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. And then we looked at this particular story from the Mahabharata. Now the Mahabharata is a story about the 100 Kauravas and the 5 Pandavas and the battle that they had. And in the story we saw that we are supposed to focus on the goal and not on anything else. Arjuna could see only the eye of the bird, whereas the other students, they could see so many other things. And that is why they failed the test which their teacher or their guru Dronacharya had given them. So remember this children, this is the moral that we are learning from the story, that we should always focus on our goal and not think about any other thing. So I hope you enjoyed the story. That is all for today. Thank you so much children. So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learned a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.